As I stood there, staring out to sea, imagining the moment that I would finally go into labour for this third, and yes, my last time, I could picture, almost feel, the power and intensity of my own wave-like surges moving through my body. And as I watched the sea, that constant motion, that constant ebb and flow, waves rolling in, waves rolling out, it was so easy for me to see the parallels between what I was watching and what I was going to experience the moment the time was finally right. And as I was marvelling at the miracle, both in front of me and what was going on inside of me, I all of a sudden got the most intense sensation go straight through my stomach. And the first thought that ran through my mind was, fudge! This baby better be staying put because I am talking on that TEDx stage tomorrow. And as I slowly, very slowly, wandered back to my car, my mind began reeling with all of the possibilities. Because as a hypnobirthing practitioner and two-time labouring goddess, I thought to myself, if this baby could just hold on for another 24 hours or so, I could actually get to show you guys exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Because although a picture paints 1,000 words, that picture is even more impactful when it's live, right? The first time this happened to me, I was at home alone with my husband. And that birth experience was the most magical, uplifting, soul-affirming experience of my life. The only intrusion were the intermittent midwives. And I, for the most part, was able to birth without any fear, without any doubt about my body's capability in doing the job that it was designed to do. And the connection between my husband and I was absolutely divine. It is without a doubt the moment that Jeannie escaped and the reason that I'm standing here sharing with you today and the reason I get to share with thousands of women across the world why and how they too can give birth at home, in hospitals, in fields, or even on TEDx stages, feeling like empowered lionesses. It's interesting to me that so much of what is taught within hypnobirthing flies in the face of conventional wisdom when it comes to what Western women expect to experience on their birthing journeys. And that's crazy because so much of it is based in science and the biology of birth and what we know to be true about the mind-body connection and how the mind is able to influence the body in both micro and macro ways based on what we are thinking or feeling at any given moment in time. And so as I thought about the prospect of giving birth here live on the stage today, I was also thinking about my talk and wondered how many of you guys would have mobile phones on you. Just do a quick straw poll. How many of you got your phones on you today? As I thought. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you a favour. If my baby does decide that now is the time, and based on what's going on at the moment, that's not completely out of the question, I would like you to take your phones out of your pockets. And for those of you who had already downloaded the Snapchat app in preparation for this talk, thank you very much. For those of you who are already active members of the Snapchat community, high five, look me up. And for those of you who are thinking, Snapchat what? You're probably over 30. Hear me out when I say you're not alone. Snapchat is the latest social media platform that looks set to hit critical mass. It allows you to take photographs and share 10-second videos of whatever is going on around you at any given moment. And if you're thinking, what is the point of a 10-second video? Hear me when I say that Snapchat is already engaging the hearts and imagination of millions of 13 to 25-year-olds across the globe, who are all really willing and eager to share their worldview through this particular lens. So the favour that I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, is that if my baby does decide that now is the time, I would like you to take your phones out of your pocket and share my birth story over the waves of Snapchat. Who in the audience is willing to grant me that favour? I'm actually pleasantly surprised, because what I've just done is ask you to do two of the things that for most over 30-year-olds are potentially the most scary things that you can do in this kind of situation, which is one, film my birth, and two, download an app that you may have only just heard of in the last half an hour or so. So that is pretty epic. And on that note, I'm just going to bring things down a notch or two and allow myself to breathe. One of the things that I love sharing about hypnobirthing is just how quickly we can flip a sense of fear into a grounded sense of excitement when we just set the intention to slow everything down and use the breath. The themes that all of the talks have been exploring today are that of moving beyond our limitations. And when it comes to birth, the biggest limitation that women and their partners have to overcome is the idea that birth needs to be some traumatic, emotional and physical endurance test that we have to go through in order to get to the good bit. I know this not to be true. And what I also know to be true, from your willingness, some would say eagerness, to film my birth live from the stage, is that how quickly doubt and fear can morph into curiosity, and that curiosity transform into confidence when we see with our very own eyes normal people like you and I doing what in the past may have been deemed to be extraordinary feats. And so while some of you may find the idea of filming a live birth slightly challenging, that is how our worlds differ from that of our Snapchat babies. Because it's only a matter of time before the birth stories that we are used to seeing depicted in sensationally dramatised ways on soap operas like Coronation Street and EastEnders, or picked for maximum dramatic effect on shows like One Born Every Minute, are replaced by stories from women who are not scared to share their story to birth across social media platforms like Snapchat. And then those stories go viral, maybe even in the next 4 minutes or so. And as the younger generation get to see these stories firsthand, the boundaries and limitations that they may once have bought into from our generation are hurdles that they get to leapfrog as they are exposed to and inspired by these amazing birth stories shared by women who are using fear-free birthing techniques. And it's this that has the capacity to change the perception and expectation of what women and their partners can expect during their path to birth. I mean, can you imagine me giving this talk now to a group of 18 to 25-year-olds and inviting them to take their phones out of their pockets Newsflash, I wouldn't have had to invite them to take their phones out of their pockets because they would have already been Facebooking and Periscoping and Snapchatting and everything that I had to say. The pace of change when it comes to technology is so quick, but that is nothing for us to be afraid of, because this platform is already inspiring, engaging, and educating a younger generation about things that they didn't even know were possible every single day. And we need to embrace that. I want you to just imagine the picture now. As my surges begin to intensify, I give myself permission to just focus my attention inwards. I allow my eyes to gently close as I focus on my breath. My birth team walks up on stage and they ask me if there's anything that I need. And I simply say, my husband. And as he comes down to greet me, I drape my arms across his body and he gently massages my shoulders. And when our eyes finally do lock, I see that there is no hint of worry or fear in his face because of all of the physical and emotional preparation we've done in the weeks leading up to this moment. His confidence in my ability to enjoy a calm and positive, empowering birth radiates from every single pore in his body. And his confidence in me is absolutely contagious. And as every surge intensifies, I take it as a sign that I'm one step closer to meeting my baby. And every single moment is captured in 10-second video slots. And you guys are all vibing, watching me in awe at my ability to birth in complete comfort, because I understand what it means to birth without fear. And because I understand what it means to birth without fear, I'm able to release all tension from my body. And because I'm releasing all of the tension from my body, I automatically start to produce more of the hormone oxytocin. And because I'm producing more oxytocin, I'm able to birth more comfortably and enjoyably, and my body is working more effectively and efficiently. And you guys are capturing every single moment in 10-second video stories and sharing them with your friends, who are sharing them with their friends, who are sharing them with their friends. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the new reality TV. And as I draw my talk to a close, I want to leave you with two key ideas. And the first is that birth can be the most positive, affirming experience that a woman and her family can experience. And we, as women and birth educators, have a duty to share with as many women as possible why and how women across the world can create calm, positive, and empowering birth experiences, regardless of how babies choose to enter into the world. The second thing I want to leave you with is to not be afraid of embracing the change when it comes to new technology. With platforms like Snapchat, we have the opportunity to watch weird, wacky, and wonderful people doing absolutely crazy things. And it's interesting that when we see extraordinary feats being undertaken by normal people, how quickly the voices in our heads that say, I can't, morph into, well, maybe I can. And that's what I would like to leave you with. But thank you very much.